in his possession on the cruise in the same room as himself and Ashley Barnett. And those illegal substances, some of it was found in Ashley's system. Now, if you guys don't know, you don't need a lot of this illegal substance. We can't say it on TikTok or they flag you and then you're violating and stuff like that. And you can't go into it. But this specific illegal substance, guys, you don't need a lot of it. You don't need a lot of it. It could be like a little bit on your tongue. That's it. When you don't have not an immunity, but you don't have like a tolerance for it, it gets to the point where like you could have like a little bit, and that's all it will do. So that's how it works. It's sad. I do believe CJ, right? She might have just taken a swig of it to go to sleep for the night. Maybe she took a swig of it because she was having a couple of drinks, and just figured, hey, whatever, we'll mix it, have some fun, go to bed, whatever. Like, again, we don't know. We would know if the boyfriend would continue answering questions, but he won't. We would know if the friends that were on the cruise ship as well. We would know if they would answer some questions, but they won't. They refuse to answer any questions at this point, guys. So the whole reason behind this live, and like I said, Seth will join in probably about 8 minutes or so. The reason why this is important is to ask questions. What happened? Tell us the story. What do you think happened? What was some of the things that was not said in these documentaries? Stuff like that. No, Jenny Lynn is not on yet. This happened in 2005, Amanda. Yeah, my mods are not on yet, but they will be on. They will be on. Oh, they said they should call. Yeah, so Gigi, there was those illegal. Oh, really? Wait, Tyler, if that's your mom, didn't you just have? Weren't you just in the hospital, man? I hope you're feeling better. But either way, the illegal substances were in a NyQuil bottle. Yes, that's why I think it was probably just an accident. What's up, Grace? You know what I mean? We're relaxing in the tub now. Like you and your mom? Don't even answer that question. But I'm glad you're feeling better. You're welcome, Tyler. Tell your mom to hop on the live, huh? Just kidding. No, but seriously. Just mess with you, man. But so anyways, like I said, guys, that's why we need this live. That's why it needs to get to the point of, that's why we have to get to the point of asking these questions and getting these answers. We need to put pressure on these friends. We need to put pressure on this boyfriend. We have to do it. Really, really important. Really important. They have to do it. They don't want to answer any more questions. I think it's like at the point for them, guys, where they're like, listen, our lives have been created and established at this point. Little classy. Tyler's mom is one of my moderators, Jenny Lynn. So like I said, guys, there she is. See, Jenny Lynn, we were just talking to your son. So that's why it's really important. We got to get those answers, and we don't have them yet, guys. But I believe if we put enough pressure on them, we will. We absolutely will. But we have to keep applying that pressure. It's so important. But we have to be able to to apply that pressure. 100%. Let's see if Seth is actually live right now. We're going to give him a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to hop, and then we're going to add him in. So guys, real quick, Jenny Lynn's here. I don't know if Amy is on, but Jenny Lynn is here. The whole point behind this is to bring awareness to this story. Okay. If you guys are ready, I'm going to bring Seth in right now. If you guys haven't followed, please consider following right now. We're going to bring Seth in. We're going to bring him in, and this is Ashley Barnett's brother. Guys, stay respectful, stay classy. Man's going through a lot. So the fact that he's taking the time, greatly appreciated. So let's get Seth going here. Let's invite him. Perfect. He will pop on whenever he's ready. I did just invite him. There we go. So when he's ready, he will pop on. There he is.
Hey,
Seth, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for taking some time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Hopefully this is a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Guess we'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Seth, like real quick, so you know, the whole purpose of this is for you to have an opportunity to, let the world know the things that we don't already know about Ashley, right? The things that were not said in the documentaries, the things that can help us find the answers that we're looking for. If we don't have to go through all the questions that people have. You can pick out the ones that you choose to answer. I'm not going to pick them out. If there's ones you want to answer, please feel free. You can see the chat on the bottom, I assume,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, man. Like we know a little bit about Ashley. Tell us some things that as a brother. Tell us some things about Ashley that like we don't know.
I mean, I don't even know where to start. We were really close in age. We were like 2.5 years apart. Um, when we were really little, we lived in Texas, and we moved to California when both of us were pretty young. So she actually got held back, I think, in the second grade. So instead of us being 3 years apart in school, we ended up being 2 years apart. So we had a lot of the same friends. We were in choir together. Um, we hung out with all the same people. So we were generally together all the time. And as we got older, it's like we got closer. We got into like young adulthood, late teens, early 20s, and we started hanging out. She had her own apartment. I'd go hang out at her apartment over the weekend, and she'd come visit me at school when I was going to school. So um, probably the biggest thing, at least to me, was like she was my sister, of course, but we were also like best friends. We were, I say we were siblings, like out of, I don't know what the right word is. We didn't have a choice, but we were friends by choice. You know what I mean? We chose to hang out with each other, and uh, as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't have asked for a better sister. So
Thanks for sharing that.
yeah.
I appreciate it. Now, tell me a little bit. How did she get into acting?
Both of our parents were actors, not famous by any means, but she uh, she didn't really get into it until after high school. Um, she was like a natural performer. She was always the center of attention everywhere she went, and she was real goofy and uh, funny all the time. So I think it came to her kind of naturally, and she ended up working in the mailroom at CBS, which is where my mom worked, and kind of expressed her interest in acting and got an acting coach, started taking acting classes, and then ended up getting a role on Will and Grace. And it wasn't very big, it was more of like a glorified extra role, but that kind of started it for her. And then she ended up getting hired to be a production assistant on Will and Grace, and got a couple of other acting roles. But right before she passed, she had meetings with other agents and management and stuff like that. So it was like things were starting to pick up for her. She was starting to like get some real notice.
I gotta say, as soon as you said Will and Grace, I just thought of Jack
Yeah,
because I thought he was
yeah.
absolutely hilarious.
And as like a testament to the actors on Will and Grace, they were all at Ashley's funeral.
Really?
So that was the kind of impact she had on them and the kind of people that they are. They all showed up to be there for my sister. So
So then she was more than just a glorified extra to them.
oh yeah, I mean, because she was a production assistant on the show, she got to know all of them really well. And with somewhere we actually have uh, a script from one of the episodes that they all signed and gave to my mom. And yeah, that's right. It's hanging in my mom's house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So she had some accomplishments under her belt.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially for being 24 and just getting into acting within, I don't know, I would say 4 or 5 years. I mean, that's a hard business to be in. I did it for a little while, and I couldn't do anything she did.
She clearly had a mind for it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Clearly.
She
So
was a
she did
natural
that for how
born
long?
performer. What was that?
How long did she do that for? How long was she acting for?
Probably about 4 years, I would say.
Okay, 4 years. And on Will and Grace, it doesn't matter if she was an extra. She was on. That was like one of the top shows, maybe in the '90s or early 2000s.
Yeah,
Late
yeah, that's
90s.
when it was. I think she
Yeah,
was on her episode of Will and Grace was back in like 2002, I want to say, or 2003, right in its
okay.
heyday.
Yeah, yeah. That was a great show. Good for her. Good for her. Um, so, other than acting, did she sing? Like, what was some other passions that she had? I just want the people to know a little bit more about her, other than like the case.
Yeah, she sang, but only out of the necessity of being on stage. She wasn't like, and she would say this if she was here. She wasn't a singer. Like, if somebody was singing right in her ear, she could sing along. But without that, it was. She would admit was not the best to listen to. But she loved to dance. She was on the dance team when she was younger, but then when we got into choir in high school, she just exclusively danced there. Um, and everybody loved her. She was like probably the most popular girl at the high school. Um, she had a little bit of RBF, so some people were afraid of her. But um,
Don't we all?
yeah, yeah. But she stuck up for me a lot when I got into high school, and for, gosh, I guess the first 2 years of high school, I wasn't Seth. I was Ashley's little brother to
Yeah.
everyone. So yeah, and the funny thing is, I never took offense to it. I was like, yeah, I'm Ashley's little brother.
It's sometimes you almost you emulate that.
Yeah.
You know, nothing wrong with that at all. That's awesome though. I like hearing that. So she did you sing? Did you say you sang a little bit or no?
Yeah, no, I still do. Yeah, yeah.
All right, because I saw a couple comments, but I didn't know if they were just being funny, so I just wanted to run into that.
No, I yesterday posted a video of a song I wrote for Ashley. So I think that's what people are talking about.
Okay, so I was just caught that I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Clear. Um, so okay, so she was acting for about 4 years, did some singing. Was she in drama at all, like in high school, or?
No, not at all. Like that was yeah, she didn't really get into acting until after we were out of high school.
Yeah.
So my dad was a theater professor for a college. My mom majored in theater, and they both ended up working in the movie industry, but behind the scenes. They were never, in front of the camera. They were behind it. But yeah, she didn't really show any interest in it until she was about 19, maybe 20. And it was almost like the moment she figured out that's what she wanted to do, she just hit the ground running, and she knew exactly where to go and who to talk to, and she was good at it, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So how did she end up landing like Will and Grace? Do you remember? Like, was there like an open casting type thing?
I think somebody from the show saw her on the lot because she was working in the mailroom, and just like got to know her and was like, "Hey, do you want to come be on the show?" And she had some sort of audition, I would assume. And then from doing the part on the show, she ended up getting hired as a production assistant. And then from there, she ended up doing a role on like Passions, that was a soap opera for a
Yeah.
while. She did a short film. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it was called. It was like School Bus or something like that. But yeah, I mean, she was obviously beautiful, so
Yep.
I wouldn't have been surprised if she ended up getting modeling gigs and things like that.
100%. I mean, if you see her walk around the mailroom along with 12 other people, you'd probably right off the bat you'd say her.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean,
You know,
I don't think I had a friend growing up that didn't at one point have a thing for my sister, which was kind of annoying as a brother, but it
I'm gonna leave
happens.
that one where it is. Yeah, I didn't know where to go with that one.
Yeah.
I'm an only child, so I just say okay. Yeah. No, but I get it. Like that makes sense. When you have so much talent, and then like you know what happened. It's so devastating to know that was cut short. And I kind of want to go into the cruise, unless there's anything you want to go into before we get to the cruise.
No, that we can go there.
How did the cruise just come about? Why did you want to go? How did it all happen?
To be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% sure on this. I think it was her boyfriend's idea. Well, I know it was her boyfriend's idea, but um, he originally sold it to her as it's going to be for your birthday because they left on the 14th of October. Her birthday was the 21st. So it was we're going to go for your birthday. And then at some point, and I don't know where this lines up in the timeline, whether it was before or whatever, but he admitted to my sister that he had relapsed into his addiction. And she had considered not going on the cruise. And I don't know exactly how he convinced her. I don't know if maybe it was initially, let's go for your birthday. Then she was like, I don't want to go because you relapsed. And then he said, well, we'll use it as a detox for me also. I know that was a big conversation that was had. So it was sort of twofold, birthday celebration and a detox. There were a lot of things that happened that should have prevented her from going. She couldn't find her passport. She couldn't find, I think, her driver's license. She had lost her driver's license. And eventually somebody said, hey, if you just bring your birth certificate, they'll let you onto the cruise ship. So she ended up having to call my mom and find out where her birth certificate was, and eventually found it. And that's how she got on the cruise ship. But I talked to her. They left on Friday. I talked to her on Wednesday because I was at school in Texas, and we argued because I didn't like her boyfriend, and I let her know about it. And it wasn't like a mad at each other, but more of like a, hey, you deserve better than him. You shouldn't be with him anymore kind of conversation. And she got it. We both said we love each other. It wasn't a bad argument, but she definitely knew where I stood as far as her boyfriend went. And yeah, I mean, I don't know to the extent of how it was sold to her, whether it was a detox or a birthday celebration. I know both got brought up, but we don't really know to what extent for either one.
What was your conversations with Ashley like? I'm not a big fan of your boyfriend based off of because of his habits that he had, or was there other things that just kind of rubbed you the wrong way?
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly having to do with his past, but a lot of it was like I had known him for, gosh, at that point, I guess probably close to 10 years, 9 years, something like that. And I just never really liked the guy. He wasn't a very nice guy, at least not to me. Obviously, my sister saw something different, but I actually knew his younger brother better than I knew him because we played baseball together. And his younger brother was like, he was a friend, I guess, but not like somebody I would hang out with by myself. It was always I'm hanging out with a group of guys and they're friends with him, so we would hang out kind of that way. But yeah, he just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He just wasn't a real genuine person to me.
Right. So your instincts were kicking in.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, yeah.
Yeah. So how long did they date?
It's my understanding, and I don't know this for sure because I was at school in Texas, but I understand it was about a year, a little bit over a year.
So you knew him for about 10 years because you played baseball with his brother.
Yeah, and we all went to high school together too.
Okay, so you guys kind of all knew each other, and Ashley already knew him.
Yeah. Yeah, Ashley met him in 9th grade, so she had known him for about 12 years, I guess.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right, so it was a birthday celebration slash I'm in the middle of recovery.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys I know this is back in 2005, but you weren't on that cruise, right? It was just her, him, and a couple of friends.
Yeah, exactly.
So was your mom working for that cruise line at all? I know she was working on the other one with the other kids, but was she on that cruise line too, or no?
No, she never worked for a cruise line. She she didn't have anything to do with the cruise industry until after what happened to Ashley. So
Okay.
after Ashley passed, George Smith's family reached out to my mom, and they kind of created this network of resources for people who were victims of crime on cruise ships,
Yep.
so that they could figure out how to report those crimes, who to report them to, support groups, kind of ways to help people, because there really wasn't anything back then. You know, it was, hey, this happened to me on a cruise, and people were like, well, sorry it happened. We don't really know what to tell you.
Right.
So,
Especially when you're on international waters, there's not really much, unfortunately, that can happen.
yeah, exactly.
So, do you know? Okay, so they're on the cruise. She's going to the cruise. Did you talk to her like a couple days in? Did you not talk to her at all while she was on the cruise? Any kind of communication with you and your sister at all while she was on the cruise?
No, no, because everything that happened that basically that first night. So they left on Friday. I guess it was Friday afternoon when they
Yep.
left. That night is the night that they argued. She wanted to go to bed because she wanted to get up early to go to port. When they got to, I always get this wrong, and I say Encinitas, but that's in California, Ensenada. So she wanted to go to port in Ensenada. He wanted to stay up, so they went back to the room. She went to bed, and he went back out. So we don't know exactly how long he was out. I think the way he tells the story, it was about 2 hours he stayed out. According to him, when he got back to the room, it was about 4 a.m, and she was asleep. He wakes up in the morning about 10 or 11, and she's still sleeping. So he decides to go meet with everybody else, presumably to eat. That's the way it was explained to me. I don't know that for certain. They get together for about an hour. He comes back to the room, and that's when he says he realizes that she's not responding. And he doesn't immediately call 911. He runs out into the hallway and yells for help. So there's a lot to that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep.
One, the biggest issue for me is that if they were arguing the night before about getting up early to go to port, why wouldn't you wake her up when you wake up and say, hey, don't you want to go to port? We should get up.
Right.
But even, regardless of whether they were going to get up and go to port, why wouldn't you wake her up and say, hey, it's 10 or it's 11, like we should get up and enjoy this vacation we're on together? And none of that makes any sense to me. So
I agree. What time did he say that he found her to be unresponsive?
I believe it was close to 2 p.m. So I think if the timeline is right, he got up at 11, said she was still sleeping. He left the room, and he was gone for quite a while. And when he came back at like 1:45, I think is what he said, 1:30, 1:45, she wasn't responding. So, and I don't know what kind of attempt he made to wake her up. I don't know if he shook her or if he called her name, or there's no specifics really into that. When he got asked that in the 48 Hours episode, it was like super vague.
Yes.
Like, oh, I walked up to her. Or, I tried to open her eyes a little bit. Like, I'm not trying to be like morbid, but I've dealt with a lot of that stuff in my career, and I've never once tried to open
someone's eyes.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So, his whole statement when they ask him that is very strange to me. I didn't realize it back then because I didn't have any training. But now that I do have training, I just recently watched the 48 Hours episode again, and it's just red flag after red flag after, oh man, I would ask this follow-up question, or I would ask this. And so
I want to make sure I understand the timeline. So they're going to port for the next day. She wants to go to bed early so that she can wake up early to get to port and go to the next destination, walk around. But he doesn't wake her up until 2 p.m. the next day when she already said that she wanted to wake up early to go to port. He waited till 2 p.m., even though at 11:45-ish, he wakes up, goes and gets breakfast, whatever he does. He wakes up. Didn't she just say she wanted to go to port? Don't you think you try to wake her up at that time? Instead, you leave her there, and then you go, and then you come back at almost 2, and you try to open her eyelids? That's the story that I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's the statement he gave.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Doesn't add up.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
So,
If you're gonna try to wake, I can tell you right now, if I'm gonna wake up my wife, I'm not doing this to her to wake her up.
Never.
No, it's just not a natural thing.
Just like I'm sure you have, we've dealt with unalived people.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I've never seen anybody do that.
No,
it doesn't make any sense.
No, you would. I mean, if you're talking about like a typical civilian, you're gonna do a shake.
Yeah.
If you were like us in law enforcement, might do a sternum rub.
Yep.
Something, but we're not flipping an eyelid open.
Yeah. No way.
Just not what you do.
Yeah.
So Seth, what about the friends? I keep hearing the friends. Were the friends? I'm assuming in a different room, but were the friends like concerned? Like, hey, like, where's Ashley? Like, we're all out and about. Where is she? Did anyone go check on her? Anything like that?
The only thing that has ever been said by any of them was one of the other guys on the cruise, when her boyfriend came down to meet them, the other friend said, "Hey, where's Ashley?" And the boyfriend said, "Oh, she's still sleeping. Let's let her sleep a little while longer and then we'll wake her up." So that's the only statement I've gotten from any of them.
Do you happen to know roughly, unless you just said it and I missed it, I'm sorry, because I saw someone sent a hat and put a hat on your head and I got distracted.
Yeah.
Which I already know who that is. What, did you say a time that they said, "Hey, where's Ashley?" "Oh, she's sleeping. Let's let her sleep." Do you know roughly like a timeline or a time frame of that?
I think it was when he immediately left in the morning at like 11:45 when he met up with everybody. That was the first thing that guy asked was, "Hey, where's Ashley?" And that's when he told him, "Oh, I think his exact words were, 'My baby doll's still sleeping. Let's let her sleep a little while longer.'" So, and I've asked some friends because that struck me as weird. Like I'd never heard him call her baby doll.
It's a strange thing to say.
Yeah. So
it's not a normal thing.
And I've tried to ask some of her friends that maybe had been around them together more than I was, and none of them remember him ever using that term. So that strikes me as strange.
My wheels are spinning.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah.
And the wheels are spinning because I have things that are going on, but I'm gonna hold them off for a minute. So, all right. How many friends went roughly?
It was a total of 6 people, including my sister. So my sister, her boyfriend's brother, one other guy, and 2 other girls.
The boyfriend's brother is the one you play baseball with?
Yes.
Anything from him?
Nothing.
Like nothing at all? Not like, "Hey, man, I don't want to get into it," or just like, "I'm not responding"?
No, well, let's see, I want to say about 15 years ago, I sent him an email, or I don't remember if it was Facebook or MySpace back then or whatever it was. I sent him a message and said like, "Hey man, I'm not trying to point any fingers. I just want to know what happened." And he responded, but it was like, "Okay, cool." And that was the only response I got. It wasn't like, "Okay, I'll tell you." It was just, "Okay, cool." And then I never got another response from him. So I tried to find that message just to go through it and see, but I have no idea where it is. I'm assuming it was on MySpace because I can't find it, but
yeah. Okay. Does the brother's friend, I'm sorry, the boyfriend's brother and that boyfriend, because I'm just not using his name I didn't know if I was allowed to.
I won't say it, but you can say it all you want if you know.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
That's the reason why I'm saying the boyfriend. Do they live in the same state? Like, are they close by, or are they like separated?
No, they live. They should live close by, as far as I know. I mean, I haven't heard any different.
The only reason I'm asking is just because we need answers for Ashley, and if we're not getting them from the boyfriend, may get them from the brother,
Yeah, I mean, I
in
feel.
not so many words.
Yeah, I feel like, if I'm being honest, I think the weak link here is the other guy that was on the ship,
The
not
boyfriend, the boyfriend's brother,
and
then there was
the other guy.
another guy, Ashley, and then the two girls.
Yeah, I think if anybody's going to talk, it's probably going to be him, and I only say that because about 10 years ago or so, a friend of ours, I can say her name, but she's mine and my wife's friend, who was also friends with my sister, got approached by that guy, and he said, "Hey, I really need to talk to you about what happened to Ashley." And the friend immediately called me and said, "Hey, he wants to talk to me. What do I do?" And I was like, "You need to record that conversation. So wherever he says to meet him, I'll bring you a little tape recorder. Just shove it in your pocket or something. Record the conversation." So I did. I gave her a little digital voice recorder. She took it, and then she called me later that night and said, "Hey, you never showed up."
He was having a stroke of conscience,
Yeah,
and
I think
then
so.
it reverted.
Yep. Or somebody talked to him and said, "Hey, dude, you can't talk about it."
This is about 10. No, this wasn't 10 years ago, was it?
Yeah, it was about 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago. Any contact? Not that you guys talk, but is he still around?
I think I know less about him than I do the boyfriend. I haven't heard anything about him since that story from the friend of ours. But if I'm being honest, I haven't really looked for him. I've looked
Right.
for her boyfriend, and uh, I think he's intentionally very hard to find. It's not by coincidence.
The boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But something leads me to believe that there's more than one person that knows what happened. I don't think it's just one person. I think more than one person knows what happened.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think all
Wheels,
of them
wheels
know.
are still spinning.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of them know, and I have my thoughts about uh, that morning before he called for help in the room, about what the whole meeting together was, and his claim that they all met to have food or whatever it was. I I kind of feel like that was hey, this is what our story is going to be, and we all need to stick to it. Um, I can't prove that, obviously, but I sort of feel like that's what that meeting was.
Can I ask you a question about the 11:45 thing?
Yeah, yeah.
The time frame. Was everybody besides Ashley together at 11:45? If you know, when he said he was going to breakfast, like, could we confirm that we're pretty confident everybody minus Ashley were all together?
Yes, I am 100% certain that that is the case.
What are your thoughts on, like, hey, there's a good chance she's not sleeping, or I don't know what happened, she's not waking up. What is the chances that that conversation happened in the morning at around 11:45?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty high probability. Um, I can't think of any other reason why he would have not woken her up, gone down to meet with them, met with them for as long as they did, and then he comes back to the room by himself. Like, wouldn't they all come back to the room and go, "Hey, Ashley, let's go, let's get ready"? Like, I don't get it.
I have a question for you, and it's one of the things that's spinning in my head, and I know the forum kind of knows how my brain works, so you're going to see it now.
Yeah.
This is, to me, this is a pretty important question. I hope you're able to answer it. Do you know if he brought her breakfast back to the room or food?
Not to my knowledge.
See, I want to tell you why I'm asking that
I think
question.
I'm already tracking with you, but go ahead.
So for me, hey, she's sleeping. I'm gonna let her sleep. Let me go bring her some pancakes back. Grab her some orange juice so she feels better. Let me bring it there. Hey, babe, you up? That to me is a normal like chain of events. But you're not bringing food back. Now you're telling me you don't care if I'm asleep. You don't care if I eat. You don't care if I have any orange, whatever. You know I'm sleeping later than normal, even though we just talked about going to port and waking up early. But you didn't even bring food. Do we know if you even went to get food? Or was this a meeting of some sorts?
Yeah,
That's what my brain is.
we don't know that. And I think that's one of my biggest problems with that 48 hours episode is nobody asked him what did you guys do when you left the room? Were you eating? Were you walking out on the deck? What was the point of you leaving the room? And nobody asked him that question. So we don't know what his reason for leaving the room was.
May I play devil's advocate real quick?
Yeah.
Do we know how documentaries are. Do we know that they did ask the question but didn't air it?
Yeah, that could be. We don't have like a transcript of what wasn't aired. You know what I mean? So they could have asked it and just edited it out.
Okay. That's just me just playing devil's advocate because we know how it is. Um, can I dig into the friends, the girlfriends specifically?
Yeah, sure.
So the two girls, because I think you said there was boyfriend, little brother, a guy, then two girls and Ashley.
Yeah.
The two girls, who were they to Ashley?
One of them was friends with Ashley when they were really young, like elementary school age. But as they got older, they kind of became more.
Drifted?
Yeah, they were more like acquaintances in high school. Kind of ran in different circles. The other friend or the other girl, I don't know that my sister was ever friends with her. I mean, she knew who she was, but I couldn't say I'd never heard her talk about her or, I'm going to hang out with so and so. Like, even in high school, that would have been a weird interaction. They were just totally different kind of people.
Yep.
So I remember when I found out who she was with on the cruise, I was like, really? Like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
a head scratcher.
Yeah.
All right. So the other girl that you said she doesn't really know, like, was she someone's boyfriend? You might have said that. Someone's girlfriend?
I think the boyfriend's brother was kind of dating. It was sort of like I guess nowadays it'd be called a situationship between both of them,
Yep.
I think it was kind of three couples, but I don't know that for sure. That could just be stuff I heard.
No, that's okay. All right. Can I ask, how was this funded?
That's a good question. I never even thought to ask that. I'm pretty sure that Ashley paid for her ticket. But I don't know if she paid for his or if he paid for both. I don't know for sure.
Okay. I'm just thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Okay. The two girls, you said one really close in elementary, kind of drifted as they got older. The other one, she doesn't really know. Based on my experience, women know, like, hey, they usually typically tend to stay together. They do everything in packs, like wolves. True. The fact that those girls weren't like, the two girls are up, so like, I'm up, the boyfriend's up, the brother's up, that random guy's up. There's only one person that's still sleeping, but nobody's like, were they all hanging out? Do you know, like the night before?
Yeah, no, they were. We actually have, and I think it was in the 48 Hours episode. There's video of them all at the concert, at the casino. For sure, the boyfriend's brother was with them for quite a while. Like, there's video of them all together.
Okay. Anything at all? Again, it's hard because I know you weren't there. Was she not feeling well? Like a cold, or like maybe throat was bothering her or something?
Yeah, we got told by her boss that she had left work early on that Thursday before the
The day
cruise.
before.
Yeah, because she felt like she had a little bit of a cold. So, and like my sister wasn't like oh, I don't feel good, I'm not going to do anything. She was never that way. So if she had a cold, like she might, you'd be able to tell. But yeah, we were told that she had some sort of cold going on.
Okay. Now, again, don't know if you can answer this question, but the medicine bottle that was filled with the substance that we can't say on TikTok. Do you know if that was all that was in there, or was there also NyQuil, DayQuil mixed with it?
Um, the only way we know that that is even a thing is because of her boyfriend. And the way that he explained it is that he dumped out the Dayquil or NyQuil and filled it with the other medicine. So I don't know if it was. I'm sure there was some residual of the Dayquil or NyQuil left in the bottle,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he left any of, or if he intentionally left half of it, or what. We don't know for sure.
They were dating for about a year. Do you know anything about any arguments that they had recently, like leading up to the cruise ship? Anything big? Anything? I mean, I don't. There's no disrespect here, but like any infidelity rumors, anything like that. I'm just trying to think of like some form of reasoning and motive behind it. Any arguments at all leading up to?
No, I mean not an argument or anything, but a few months beforehand, my sister and I've never really talked about this because I just don't really like to. But a few months beforehand, my sister had an abortion. Um, Now, in the 48 Hours episode, her boyfriend and her boyfriend's mom make this a really big deal. Um, but if you ask any of our family, Ashley handled it the way anybody would. You know, she was upset about it, but she wasn't like to an alarming rate, like upset about it. It was something that appropriately she had some mixed feelings with, but not to the point where like she was, you know, overly depressed or anything.
Can I ask you if there was the possibility that he thought it wasn't his?
I I don't know that for sure, but I would say that's highly unlikely. I
Not.
mean,
I'm sorry. I think I asked it incorrectly. Meaning that he would imply that it wasn't his. Not saying that Ashley would be unfaithful, but was he like
oh,
a jealous or insecure guy? That's what I was. That's what I meant.
um, probably. I mean, he's certainly struck me as kind of an insecure guy, especially when, in my opinion, he's punching way above his weight class. Uh, I mean, I could see why he would say that.
Okay. Again,
And
just thinking reason.
Ashbug here, yeah, she's just bringing up that in the 48 hours, he did make it a big deal, and my mom in the 48 hours episode explains that like he tried to say that she took a bunch of medication at some point, and I know exactly the instant he's talking about because I talked to my sister and my mom about it, and it wasn't the way he makes it sound. It was that she was hurting. Nobody knows this either, but she had a breast cancer scare. So she had a biopsy done and was in a lot of pain. She took more aspirin than she should have and asked my mom, "Hey, is that going to be okay?" And he turned it into, "Oh, she did it intentionally." Like that wasn't the case at all. She just was in pain, took more than she should have, and asked if that was going to be okay.
Okay. What are your? Was he like a? Let's say how to word it. Was he like a traditional guy? Like doesn't believe more mainly because of the question that I see here, but was he the kind of guy, do you know, that maybe he was against that decision that she made?
Um, it's a possibility. I don't know for sure. He is. at least back then, I don't know now, but he was like a very blue collar kind of, kind of a rough guy. But yeah, I mean, that's a possibility.
Okay. All right. So 11:45 in the morning. She hasn't woken up yet. Tell me something else. Tell me what is a typical, maybe a Saturday morning. I know years back, but was Ashley like a sleeping kind of gal? Was she like up and at 'em with the birds? Like what was back then? What was a normal time for her to wake up?
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, she wasn't exactly a morning person.
Right.
Um, she was the stereotypical "don't talk to me until I have my coffee" kind of person. But she, if she wanted to get up, she would have got up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like if she says, "Hey, I got to be up by 8 o'clock because I got to do this," or "I want to get up at this time because I want to go do this," she's gonna get up. Like,
Yeah.
and anybody who knew her would know that. She may get up begrudgingly and be like, "Oh God, I gotta get up," but she's gonna get up.
Okay. So she'll sleep in if she has to, but if there's something she wants to do, she's up and at 'em.
Yeah, I mean, she's especially at that age was like the stereotypical. If I don't have anything to do on a Saturday morning, I'll sleep till 10 or 11. But if she's got a job to do, or if she's got somewhere she wants to be that day, like she liked to go to the beach. So if she was going to get up and go to the beach, she's going to get up at 8 o'clock and go to the beach.
It's also, again, this is different for everybody. Me personally, when I'm on vacation, I don't really sleep like I do when I'm home. You kind of like mentally you're up and about.
Yeah.
So her sleeping till 11:45, or actually almost 2 p.m., doesn't seem very, and I don't know her, but doesn't seem very typical of someone who's on vacation,
Yeah.
especially someone who wants to get to port and explore. Um, okay, so now they found her. He's messing with her eyelids. Walk me through from what you know. Walk me through that. He finds her at almost 2 p.m. He doesn't call 911. He goes up and down the hallway. Walk me through this process.
Yeah. So he runs out into the hallway, yells for help. One of their uh, neighbors in the cabin close by is a volunteer firefighter. So he runs in and he checks. According to him, he said that when he checked for vitals, that she was still viable. He started doing CPR, and then he had to tell her boyfriend to call 911. Also strikes me as kind of strange, but he calls 911. If I remember correctly, it took about between 3 and 5 minutes for the nurses to arrive. They started administering CPR, and then within a few minutes of them arriving, they called for the ship's doctor. The doctor took about 3 or 4 minutes to get there. The doctor had them hook up a defibrillator, but the defibrillator took 30 minutes for it to get there.
30 minutes for a defibrillator. Well, I know it's 2005, but 30 minutes for a defibrillator?
Yeah, it seems a little outrageous. And like you said, it was 2005. I'm sure things have changed since then, but also something that really strikes me as strange is in the time that the medical staff is working on my sister, he takes the time to tell them that his
He is the boyfriend.
medication, yeah, the boyfriend. He takes the time to tell them that some of his medication is missing. Now, I know I'm not and have never been an addict, so I don't know. But when did he have time to check that? Like, if you got back and she wasn't responding and you immediately ran outside and asked for help and then called 911, the medical staff shows up. When did you have time to check and see that your medication was missing? That doesn't
Or the
track.
fact that medical personnel are there working on your girlfriend. That's what you're thinking about? Is your
Yeah.
medication?
So, yeah. I think it took them about 45 minutes to pronounce her. And then, what was that?
I said, yep.
Yeah. And then when everything happened, they had to allow the Mexican authorities onto the ship. And the original story we got from the cruise line was that they didn't have a morgue on the ship, so she had to be left in Mexico. Now that has since changed. Now the story is the Mexican authorities had to take her to determine if there was a crime committed.
Okay.
I don't know which one is the truth. I mean, I can certainly see the argument that the Mexican authorities needed to make sure a crime wasn't committed.
Yep.
But if we're being honest, they did a really half-assed job at it. So I'm not exactly sure what that accomplished other than making our autopsy in California harder to do. So,
Okay. I heard that. I'm just still stuck on the whole medical personnel's working on my girlfriend of a year that I've known for 10 years. I was just with her alive and well 12 hours prior, but I need you to know that my meds are missing.
yeah. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
And
Doesn't
now
add up.
his justification for that, which still doesn't make any sense to me, but his justification for that was, well, if you have something you can give her as like a, like a Narcan or something.
Yeah. Something,
then,
yeah, back in 2005.
Yeah. But that was his justification for saying that. But I don't know if he really thought out like, why would you say that, first of all?
Yep.
But secondly, how would you have even known at that point?
Yeah. You wouldn't have gone back to go check that while you're calling for help, with medical personnel. They're probably asking you 100 questions while you're there. When would you have the time to go check your bottle? That doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I will say, based on experience, and I know I assume you'll agree, when the brain is faced with something traumatic and it's faced with something real, the brain plays games on you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that could be a game of, for him, my medicine's missing. For him, it's like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like, for him, he thought it made sense to do, but that's not a normal human reaction when you have medical personnel working on your girlfriend and you don't even know what's happening to her.
Yeah.
This is going to sound very out there, but when he was questioned or asked anything, was he ever considered an actual suspect versus a person of interest? Do you know?
We have no idea.
Okay. Do you attribute that, based on your opinion, do you attribute that because it was international waters?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that and really just a really lackadaisical investigation. I don't think, the FBI did question all of them. I still don't know what was said. I haven't gotten a response to my FOIA request, but yeah, I mean, we don't know for sure. We know that the Department of Justice has it classified as I don't want to say the word, but yeah. So somewhere somebody recognized that nothing really added up, but I guess nobody was willing to really dig into it and figure out what happened. So.
When you say nobody was willing to dig into it, was that like federal, any kind of investigator?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I know you and I talked, obviously, off this about like an idea to maybe they'll talk, and we'll leave that in that conversation. But my question to you is, someone knows something that was on that ship. Someone knows something in that friend group. The only way we're going to get answers is we're going to have to find a way to get someone, and maybe it's the weak link that you mentioned, but somebody knows something. And I believe the reason they're not talking is because they have families, they have lives, they have jobs. They don't want to risk any of that. And I think that's what's really holding them back, is because they don't want to risk that.
Yeah. And I've said before, I totally get it. We're at a point now where I'm really not trying to blow anybody's life up. I'm really not. that's not the point of this. I'm not trying to get somebody locked up.
Yep.
The point of this is so that me and my family can have some answers.
Yep.
And, you know, there's a lot of different things we can explore as far as that goes. But yeah, I'm not looking to like come into one of their lives and be like, hey, your life is over. That's not the point of this. This is, we just deserve to know what happened to Ashley. That's it.
Right. Can I ask you a question about the bottle? I know this is something that he said.
Mm-hmm.
Was it empty? Do you know? Do you know anything about it? Was it empty?
I have no idea. I mean, the way he explains it, he says some was missing. He doesn't say that it was empty.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
Do you know if that some was missing, that bottle? Do you know if that bottle ever was investigated by authorities, or if that bottle made its way back to the States? Was there any way anyone could look at that bottle? I've seen fingerprints, or how much of the contents were gone. Was that thrown away? What happened to the bottle?
I have no idea.
Okay. Just, I'm trying to connect the dots, and just like you, it's like there's so many things that we don't know about. I'm trying to think. All right, so let's go back to that. Let's go back to that morning. So he gets to the point where she's pronounced. This was day 2, or was this into like the end of day 1 into day 2 when she was pronounced?
That was day 2.
What did did they stay on the cruise the rest of the time, or did they all just come home?
Yeah, no, they stayed on the cruise. Yep.
Okay.
Somebody here said you don't seem to know much. Yeah, I get that. I totally understand that. But that's part of why I'm doing this, is so that I can find out what happened. So.
Yeah, I didn't know who said it. I was just scrolling to see who said it. I think, I don't know. Again, I didn't really look at the question, but I assume based on the form, it's like we don't have a lot of answers, and I think that's exactly why we're doing is to get some of these answers. So,
like I said, I don't blame them for asking the question. Like,
right,
get it. It does sort of seem like, hey, he doesn't know a lot about this, but that's why we're doing it. But.
You saw me just take my hat off. I'm like literally flabbergasted that they stayed on the cruise, knowing like did he sleep in the bed? Like, I know this is a rhetorical question, but how do you stay on the? How do all of you stay on the cruise? You were just with her 24 hours prior. She was pronounced. You stayed on the cruise. You didn't say we got to go home.
Yeah, I don't get it either. That boggles my mind. I mean, you could not have dragged me back onto that cruise ship. I would have fought tooth and nail to stay with her until the family could get there.
I literally have. I don't even know what to say at this stage. I thought you were going to say, no. They came home like that. And you're like, no, they stayed the whole time. Would you just carry on the cruise and just carry on your vacation like nothing ever happened?
Yeah.
And the fact that authorities, now again, I'm kind of spitballing here, so tell me if I'm wrong, but the authorities didn't say like, hey, boyfriend, you should probably come back because we have a few questions, because I don't know, maybe any kind of evidence could be manipulated or destroyed.
As far as I know, I mean, his excuse in the 48 Hours episode is that he was told he had to get back on the boat because the FBI wanted to interview him, which for all I know, that could be, but why couldn't they interview him in Mexico?
Right. Was it United States FBI, or was it the United States FBI, or was it like Mexican authorities?
No, I know the ones that ended up interviewing him were U.S. Sorry, somebody asked about cameras. I just want to.
No, go ahead. Answer whatever you want.
Oh gosh, I got to do the puzzle piece. Hold on.
Oh, I did the same thing a second ago. Yeah, because we were.
Let's see. Somebody said,
Was
Do
there
the
any
crews
cameras?
have cameras on the boat, like the outside perimeter? We petitioned to get camera footage, and they said that the cameras were not working.
Oh my god.
Also, the key card reader for their room malfunctioned.
We mean it malfunctioned.
We don't have any of the data of when they went in and out of the room. We don't have any camera footage. None of that.
Just for that. Sorry, I got like a random phone call from New York. Sorry. Okay, so the last thing I heard was the cameras weren't rolling, or there was an issue with the cameras, and we didn't have key card data because they malfunctioned. What about the day before and the day after? Were they all malfunctioned? Was it just that day?
Well, they said just that room. They didn't specify what day or anything. They just said that room.
How does one room out of 1,000 rooms that one malfunctioned?
Yeah. We find it hard to believe also.
Okay. And then the cameras, you said they weren't rolling, but were they rolling or they didn't record? Whatever the issue was, did they record after the fact? Like the next day?
Yeah, as far as we know, they didn't work on that entire cruise.
Sounds safe. Okay. It makes sense now why your mom created the organization that she created. Like, it's like the pieces are coming together for me.
Yeah.
But would this be a fair? All right, so I'll say this and I'll just ask you if you agree or not. But would it be fair for me? Second one. There is a second one, New York. Needs to talk to you. Is it fair for me to say that there's a good chance that, like, this crew specifically and another victim I've spoken about all my lives, that sometimes these cruise ships, they're afraid that this is going to come back to them, so these things go missing or malfunction? Like, would that be a fair thing for me to say?
I think so, for sure. I don't know what it is specifically about my sister's case that they think is going to come back on them, whether it was the medication that ended up on the ship or just the fact that somebody passed. Like, that's bad publicity. So we got to try to keep it as quiet as possible, try to make it go away without anybody knowing, and everybody will just forget about it and we don't have to worry about it anymore.
All right. Let me say this. My wheels are spinning, right? Let me say this, and if I'm way off, just be like, dude, you're way off. Typically, when things like this happen and it's on a cruise ship, they've already reviewed the camera footage. And if there's nothing that can implicate them in any way and they're not involved and they're completely innocent, nothing's going to go missing. So typically, if something is now, they weren't recording or rolling, something nefarious typically went on that would make them say, hey, it didn't record. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Typically, they wouldn't have anything to hide if everything was all on the up and up. Other than the way that they handled the medication getting on the boat and the medical response, specifically the defibrillator taking as long as it did. Those are the only two things that I can think of that they would be really worried about. But that doesn't mean something else didn't happen. I mean, who knows?
Right. Do we know anything about whomever or wherever he got these rugs that he put in the field bar?
I know it wasn't prescribed to him, but I don't know for sure where he got it from. And he won't say where he got it from.
The reason is because sometimes legally you can, not that you're prescribed to them, but if you go to a certain clinic, they can give them to you to help you, recover from something else. So I didn't know if it was something like that where we could somehow track that down and know like where it arrived, or maybe it was purchased illegally for all we know.
I mean, I think the fact that he put it in a Dayquil or NyQuil bottle means it was definitely not his. Allison, the doctor was licensed, but he was licensed out of a different country.
Out of Mexico?
No, it wasn't Mexico. It was like, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a South American country.
Okay. All right. So now she passes. The funeral and wake, was that after they got back? Like after the ship, the vacation's over, whatever. It was after that.
Yes. Yeah.
Now again, I've seen the 48-hour documentary, but I rather just ask you: did anyone not show up that was there on the cruise ship?
The only person that I know for sure showed up is her boyfriend. Um, the other four people on the cruise, I believe, did not come. Uh, and it's kind of a weird situation because obviously my family and I's life just got completely turned upside down.
Yeah.
Um, we got to the church early for the funeral, and we all sat right in the front. the The church was so full that people were standing in the back, like in the lobby of the church. So I don't know how this happened, but I know her boyfriend showed up, and what he was told by family friends that he wasn't welcome. So he made a big point in the 48 Hours episode saying, "Oh, he should have been allowed to be there, and that wasn't right." And if all of this turns out to be some huge accident and he had nothing to do with it, then I will be the first to tell him that I'm sorry. Uh, because if that's the case, then yeah, he should have been there. All of us had a lot of questions at the time, and he wasn't talking to us. So I don't know how you expect us to just be like, yeah, come on in, dude. We don't know what happened, but you were the last one with her, but yeah, come on in.
I I think if it was a legitimate accident and it was just, I think he would have talked about it by now.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And Fulvia, they do have to go through security to get on the ship, but we actually have video footage of them celebrating getting past the dogs. So we know they, and I know they had other things with them besides the medication.
Like other substances.
Yeah,
What was Ashley's? Was Ashley the type to experiment with some of that stuff just to have a good time?
not at all. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, she was dating a guy who was an addict. I get that question, and I totally understand it. That would be my first question too. But she was very adamantly anti-rug, like very
Yeah.
adamantly. Um, People always ask me, well, then why was she with him? I'm like, my sister was a really great person. She was able to see past his addiction, and she was the kind of person that wanted to help people. She was always that way. So if she thought she could help him through his recovery, she was going to do that. And but no, we were able to prove that in her autopsy. Also, they did a hair follicle test. They because getting her back into the United States, I didn't know this, and maybe a lot of people don't know this, but to pass international borders back into the U.S., she had to be embalmed. So
Okay.
we had our private forensic pathologist arrange with the Mexican authorities to set aside certain uh, bodily fluid samples so that we could have an autopsy done here. And he was able to determine that she had no history of, uh,
Any of those.
yeah,
What about a drinker? Like other than social, was she just a social? Was she the type like no, she partied hard?
no, I wouldn't say she partied hard. She loved the social aspect of a party,
Yep.
but she would nurse a glass of like cheap white wine at a huge party. She would have a glass of cheap white wine in like a solo cup, and she would drink that one glass of wine, and that would be pretty much it. On like a very rare occasion, she might have two, but even that would be unusual for her.
Do you know anything about the cruise itself? Like, was it just a regular Gulf of Mexico or Mexico cruise? Was it a themed cruise? You know anything specific about the cruise ship?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember the exact. I used to know the exact name of the cruise, and I don't really want to throw that out there because the
Okay,
organizer, I don't know what they are, but it was like a music party cruise.
like a
Um,
festival type thing.
yeah, like the band Slightly Stupid was playing. It was like kind of reggae music
Yeah,
festival kind of thing. And I know my sister didn't care for reggae music. That was certainly a boyfriend thing. But
yeah.
yeah, it was like a music festival for the weekend.
Why did she go? She's not into like rugs. Reggae, we know the kind of substances typically align with reggae music.
And they
Doesn't
definitely
like,
had that.
oh, 100%. I could smell it from here.
Yeah.
Why did she go? She doesn't know a couple of the people even really on there. She was, was it just to appease him?
I think she genuinely she loved him, and I'm not afraid to admit that, obviously, but I think she really wanted to help him get through his addiction, and the way it was framed to her was that he was going to use it as a detox. Now, I know her well enough to know that the oh it's for your birthday, she saw right through that. That was
Yeah.
the okay, yeah, sure. But if it was going to help him get clean again, she would have gone to help him.
Do you happen to know the friends? Do you happen to know where they were staying in respect to where they were? Were they like neighbors or like was one group of friends on another floor? Like were they near each other where they were staying?
No, they were all separated. Obviously, I don't know exactly where on the
Yeah.
cruise, but they weren't in like the same area. And they typically, at least from the video footage we have from Ashley's camera, they were hanging out in her boyfriend and Ashley's room that first day. So kind of seemed like their room was kind of home base, you know?
What time is the last time that we can confirm she was okay? Is it in the video where they're dancing?
Yeah, there's a video of them. I think timeline wise, they're at the casino. They're together at the casino, and that's the last video that we have.
Do you know roughly what time?
I don't. I don't. I don't believe that that video camera had a timestamp.
Okay. There's probably she was at the casino. I was gonna say the casino's open all night. We
Yeah.
can't really pinpoint what time. Trying to figure out roughly like what time because you may have said this at the beginning of the live, I'm sorry. Do we know roughly what time she went to bed that night? Remember he said like he wanted to go out or he didn't want to go to bed, but do we know roughly what time we know, from at least from what we know of what time she went to bed?
Yeah, it was around 2 o'clock.
All right, so she went to bed around 2. And she wasn't even found until almost 2. Would that even be common for her to sleep for 12 hours?
Mm,
Like, that's a lot.
yeah,
Like,
that's a long time for her.
yeah. Okay.
JB, I don't know of any kind of emotional or physical like that kind of stuff in their relationship. She never told me anything, and I never witnessed anything. That's for sure.
One of the questions here, I've heard it a few times, and it's I wanted to ask you too. How did you guys find out that she passed?
Um, the nurse on the cruise ship called my mom and told my mom. Uh, my mom asked to talk to the boyfriend, and the nurse told her that he couldn't talk because he was being questioned. We learned since then that he was being questioned by the cruise security team. Um, Later in the day, that nurse called my mom back just to say, you know, hey, he's been cleared, so he can talk to you. And my mom said, okay, well, can I talk to him? And she said, he's refusing to talk to you. So my mom didn't hear from him until the next day.
All right, so the day after you guys got the phone call that she had passed.
Yeah.
Does your mom or you remember what his temperament was like on this phone call?
According to my mom, obviously she doesn't remember like
Yeah.
every detail because obviously her brain was going a million miles a minute. But the way she explained it to me was the entire conversation was, how am I supposed to deal with this? What do I do now? Like very him focused, not
Yeah.
I can't believe this happened. I'm so sorry. Like nothing like that. It was just I don't know what to do. I'm so upset. Like, and my mom did ask him, you were with her last. What happened? And all
Yeah.
he could say was, I don't know.
How long was the cruise?
3 days.
So this happened. All right. So they were only on the cruise for like another day
Yeah.
or so. Okay. Do you happen to remember what, or does your mom? You were a little younger, but does your mom remember? Or do you remember when the cruise came back and they were back home? Was there any communication at all? Was there anything weird or bizarre about the boyfriend? What did he reach out to you guys? Did he pretty much just play, you know, hide and seek from that moment on?
Um, he certainly never came to my mom's house, which is where everybody was. I mean, me, all my siblings, my mom, my dad, and my parents had been divorced for a long time, but all of us were at my mom's house. He never came by there. Um, we had a birthday party for her on her birthday because her birthday was, 6 days later.
Mm-hmm.
And we had it at like a local sports bar. And I was hanging out with my best friends. One of my buddies came up and said, "Hey, her boyfriend's here. Do you want to talk to him?" Well, I was so mad at the time that I didn't want to talk to him. And
Right.
in hindsight, I probably should have, but hindsight's 2020. Um, but I was like, no, I don't want to talk to him because in my mind, I could talk to him next week or I could talk to him,
Right.
3 days from now. I knew that if I talked to him right then, I was not going to be a very nice person.
Yep.
And I didn't want to do that,
Yep.
especially at her birthday party.
Right.
So I told him, like, no, I don't want to talk to him. He should probably leave. But yeah, he didn't come up to me. He had somebody else come up to me. So
Do you remember who that somebody else was? Not like a name, but like who that person would have been to you or him?
yeah, no, he's one of my best friends. So I think he just happened to run into him and he said, hey, I want to talk to Seth or whatever. But yeah, I'm still very good friends with that guy. So
Okay. So he goes to the to the funeral, speaks with family and said, "Hey, you're not welcome." He leaves, but shows up to your parents' house on Ashley's birthday.
yeah, I was at a sports bar, but
The
yeah,
sports.
at her birthday.
Okay. Was those other people around that he went on the cruise ship? Were they around, or any of them? There was his brother there, that random guy friend, the two girls. Was anyone else there? You remember?
They may have been with him at the birthday party, and no, his brother was definitely with him. That I remember. But the other ones, I don't think were there.
And the brother is the one you played baseball with at one point.
Yeah,
Did you have a relationship with the brother, like obviously the younger brother, up to that point of the cruise, and then your relationship kind of fell off after the cruise?
yeah. I mean, it was more of like I guess like a mutual friend. Like I've got other buddies that were close with him, and we would hang out and we would talk and like joke around, whatever. But I never hung out with him like on my own.
Right.
So we never hung out after this, even with the people that we had mutual friends with. We didn't end up in the same place or any of that after this. So I don't know if he cut ties with people or if they cut ties with him. I'm not sure.
So I got just a couple left, and then after that, if you want to answer some questions, I know it's getting late.
Yeah, sure.
The friends, all of them, besides the boyfriend, What was? Have they spoke? Again, I've seen some things that are said, but I'd rather hear from you. Have they said anything? Have they like? What is their attitude towards this whole situation when it comes down to you and your mom of giving them answers?
We haven't heard from any of them. I haven't talked to a single one of them.
It's just so strange to me. You were on the cruise ship with her the night before, and no, and they're not saying anything.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember when it was, but I want to say about 15 to 14 years ago, I was getting ready to go into the police academy, and I was running a lot to get in shape. My wife and I had just had our first kid, so we had gone to the local high school. I was running laps. My wife was pushing our kid in the stroller. And as I'm coming around the track, I saw one of the girls that was on the cruise with them. So I stopped running. We made eye contact with each other, and I started walking towards her so I could talk to her, and she turned around and left.
How did she leave? Did she just walk, or did she kind of like make her way quickly out?
She didn't run, but it certainly wasn't just a normal, like, casual walk. It was like oh, I got to get out of here.
Like, I'm avoiding you. I gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, we made eye contact. We looked right at each other. So I know she saw me. But
And she was one of the girls on the cruise.
yes.
Ever saw her again?
Nope.
And I'm assuming never, spoke to her either.
No.
Is there anyone that, other than would you say was it the friend that said we should talk, or said it to a friend of yours, said we should talk, and then just stopped?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the other guy on the cruise.
And he was like one of the girls' boyfriends, or?
Yeah, I mean, they were like talking or whatever. I don't know how they categorized it, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And is he local to you?
He would have been then, obviously. My wife and I, we moved, but
Yeah.
he would have been then. Yeah, he went to high school with us too. It was all this group from high school that stayed friends out of high school, kind of deal. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know him all that well. Like, he was kind of quiet in high school. He kind of kept to himself, so I didn't really know him. But yeah.
And nothing from him either. Not even like on social media, or like not even like a like on a post or something.
Nothing. Nope.
So they're all pretty much doing the same thing, just kind of off grid.
Yeah, I mean, some of them have social media, and I've been able to find it. I haven't like approached any of them just yet because I'm trying to like figure out the best way to go about it. But some of them do.
I can throw a couple ideas at you like offline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, we know something happened. It's within that group of people. We need to find the weak link in that group of people. There's always a way to get through. Usually it's an emotional thing. We can connect with them emotionally. We can get somebody to say something. I just hope that it's sooner rather than later. I was saying this to my wife before this, and I said, the saddest part about this is like, Seth and his mom have gone through 20 Christmases without their sister and daughter, 20 birthdays without their sister and daughter. The people that are involved, or allegedly involved, have their loved ones to celebrate the Christmases with and the birthdays with. We need to find answers. And I think the only way we're going to do it is by doing things like this, keep talking about it, keep applying the pressure. And you know by now what you need from me, just ask. They don't know who I am. They know who you are. So whatever you need from me, just ask. I'm on your side, and I appreciate you taking the time tonight with us. Really,
I appreciate you having me. I really do, and I appreciate you helping put the word out there so more people know about my sister's story. So,
100%. Yeah, no, it's been my pleasure. I know it's a sad situation, but just like I've told some other families, we'll get answers. I can't promise you they're going to be all positive, but I think anything is good enough at this stage.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I get like obviously it's been 20 years, so every possible scenario that I could think of has gone through my brain. So there's not going to be one that comes up and I go, oh no, there's no chance. It would
Right.
just be, oh, okay, okay. But
Yeah.
we just need closure. We need some definitive answers about what really went down.
Would you guys, you and the family, would you guys be open to the idea of like we won't be there. You don't have to answer our questions. We can send a neutral party, almost like a moderator. Say whatever you got to say. We just want answers. No repercussions, no nothing. We just need something. Would you guys be open to something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I can answer for me, obviously.
Yeah, just us.
I certainly do at some point want to sit down with him.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's something we'd probably be open to, at least initially.
It's fear, Seth. There's fear on that side of the
Yeah.
table. And if we can figure out a way to break down that fear, I mean, this might be a tough question to answer on a live, but the main person that we're discussing, I won't even say the title. I'm assuming they have a family at
Yeah.
this stage of the game.
Yeah.
That's my hint.
Yeah.
That's my hint, and we'll talk offline about it.
Yeah.
But there's ways, and I think we can get there. It may take a little bit of time, but I think we can get there.
Yeah. I think so too. I think just in the little bit of time I started this TikTok, and a lot of things have uh, happened. A lot
Yeah.
of people have reached out. Uh, People that I haven't talked to in a really long time. So it's definitely making some headway. That's for sure.
Yep. And all we have to do is just keep doing this. We'll keep talking about it. Would love to have you back on maybe in a few weeks and see if we can get any updates, something like that. But you and I will talk regardless. Um, I'm in your corner, so whatever you need, just let me know.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you taking the time. Please tell your mother I said hello.
I will for sure.
Awesome. Well, Seth, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night. And again, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got it.
All
Bye.
right.
Hi, guys. So that was a great live, right? Really happy about it. We have to be real careful, right? On what we do and what we say. You guys could probably see my wheels turning. I wanted to take a few minutes with you guys now that the live is over because there's certain things I can't really discuss on the live with him, legal reasons on his end. But I want to tell you guys, I want to go through a little bit, guys, what my brain was doing. You guys probably at times saw me just. You could probably see the wheels spinning. It was pretty intense at certain times. So what I want to do is give you guys my opinion on what I heard. I want to give you guys my opinion. But before I do that, did you guys kind of see? I'm going to be honest. That was me in like investigation mode. The questions that I was asking, and I counted Seth, I think twice, say, that's a good question. I never thought of that. My brain is weird. I don't know. It's just the way it works. There's a lot of questions I have. There were certain ones I didn't go into, but I want to take you guys back to the first time it really hit me something's going on. You guys heard it, but I want to dive into it. And all you guys, I appreciate all the nice things you guys are saying. And I apologize, I couldn't really answer any real. I said like hi to a few people, but obviously I was into that. So the first thing that stuck out to me, right off the bat, the first thing that stuck out to me was she wanted to get off to port, and she wanted to, explore wherever the next destination was. 100% Bronco. She wanted to go there. She goes to sleep at 2:00 in the morning. It's now 11:45 in the morning. I'm sorry. Well, it is. Yeah, it's 11:45 in the morning. And he decides to get up, doesn't check on her, because that's what he said. Now, when I say he, I'm talking about the boyfriend. The boyfriend doesn't check on her. She's still sleeping, and leaves. Doesn't bring back breakfast. Doesn't bring back orange juice. Doesn't bring back coffee. I don't know about you guys, but like, first of all, I don't like get up and go. Like my wife and I, like if she's still sleeping, I'm not getting up out of that room. I'm like, babe, like, let's go. Like the buffet is waiting for me. I'm starving here. Like that's what I do, but that's just me. But think about this. This is the boyfriend. Like you should be, you know what? Let me go grab some. I know I think I may have said pancakes on the line, but let me go grab some coffee. Let me go grab some orange juice. Like, babe, you want something? Like the fact that he gets up and but here's the biggest thing, guys. I would have come back with coffee, a drink. I gotta be honest, if I came back with pancakes, there'd probably be some missing, a couple bites taken out of it. But truthfully, like I would have came back with something. But here's the other thing, guys, that really like raised the red flags for me. Was the fact that the buffet, yeah. The thing that really raised the red flags for me was the fact that he was gone from 11:45 to almost 1:45 in the afternoon. Like, what breakfast takes 2 hours? Like, where are you going for 2 hours? What's up, Shani? Tell me the truth. Where are you going for 2 hours? Like, how much bacon are you consuming in 2 hours? To me, that doesn't add up. And the other thing that doesn't add up is all the friends went, but nobody went and thought, maybe I should check on Ashley. Maybe I should be like, hey, what's going on? Is Ashley coming? Like, is she okay? Something tells me they met for a reason. Something tells me that they met to figure out what the next step is. Hey, guys, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on, but like, she doesn't look good. She does not look good at all. She doesn't look good. I don't know what's going on. What are we going to do? Well, this is what we should do. We should do this. We should do, like, I believe there was some form of a plot formulating. Some form of a plot. Like, hey, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but like, we got to make sure we're all on the same page. That's what you do for 2 hours. When you're saying you're gonna eat breakfast at 11:45 in the morning, you're colluding a story. You guys ever see the Karen Reed trial, the McCabe's? Don't get me started. But somebody that you're literally trying to make a plan to figure out what the next step is going to be. And if they say this, what am I going to do? If they say that, what am I going to say? That to me is what they're doing. It took 2 hours. And then you come back and, I'm sorry, the way you try to wake her up is this? Who does that? That's not how you wake somebody up. Let me just play with the... Like, listen, I've done that to, like, my kid. Sometimes my wife just being funny. But if my wife, like, has been asleep for almost 12 hours, I'm not flicking her eyelid. I'm like, babe, what are you doing? Like, you gonna get up? Like... What are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, something doesn't add up there. Wendy, this is Ashley Barnett. So something doesn't add up there. It just doesn't. Like, to me, this is my way of telling you guys, this is the guilt. This is the guilt. When he said that he did this, did you guys hear me in the live say something like, when you're faced with something like this, traumatic, sometimes your brain just kind of... It skips a beat and you act a certain way because your brain didn't even think that you just did something. Remember he said something about, my pills were missing? Remember I said something along those lines? Well, I believe that when he sat there and he said, I did this to her eyes, that was his brain trying to release the tension in his own head, in his own mind, and bring that back to reality and level him out. His brain was trying to protect him. It's almost like fight or flight mode. His brain was fleeing. And the way the brain was fleeing was saying, make a joke. I lifted her eyelid. She didn't wake up. That was what it was, in my opinion. Based on my experience, that's what it was. The other thing to me that really bothered me, number one, they all stayed on the cruise ship. How? How do you guys? Now I understand it was only a few days, but how do you stay on that cruise ship? Your girlfriend of a year that you've known for 10 years just OD'd on that bed that you're sleeping on. How do you just now listen? I don't know if he was in the room. We don't know that, but how do you just stay there? That to me doesn't make sense. And then he goes into, oh, my pills are, or my pill bottle, whatever he said. He goes, my medication's missing, or some of my medication's missing. What's up, Chickadine? Like, wait a minute, wait. That's what you're paying attention to? They're working with the defibrillator on your girlfriend right there on the ground, right there. I'm looking at her. And all you care about is your pill bottle or whatever, your medicine? Like, what the hell? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense at all, you know? And all of you guys too, I forgot to do this during the live and I didn't really want to. There was a bunch of new followers, guys, on the live, so I just wanted to say thank you for all the new followers. If you guys haven't followed yet, we really, really appreciate the support. We just finished up a live with Ashley Barnett's brother, Seth. We got a lot of new answers, guys, that we didn't know about. I think you guys can all agree. We learned a lot more by sitting and talking with Seth for an hour and 10 minutes than you did in the 48 Hours episode of the Cruise Ship Killers episode. We're learning a lot more, and this is exactly why we're doing it. Do you guys remember me talking at the very, very end about Chicken Bean? It's okay. This whole live is recorded. This whole live's recorded, so don't worry about it. It will be on my YouTube. It will be there. So if you guys missed it, or you missed half of it, whatever, no big deal. It is going to be on YouTube. Do not worry. Do you guys remember at the very end of the live, I asked a real specific question? What was that specific question? Chicken Bean, it's just for you. What was that specific question I asked at the end of the live? Let's see. My YouTube is right there, Darla. Appreciate you, Lisa. I'm still waiting for people to answer the question. What was my big question that I asked Seth at the very end of the live? I know I asked a lot of questions, Becky. It's okay. It's okay. Nope, not moderate the meeting. It's okay. You guys are struggling for real. So here's what, I'm here for the comments. Here's what I asked, guys. Thank you for listening. Here's what I asked. I said, do these guys have a family? Amy's listening. I said, does the main guy, and I said, I don't want to say who. I said, have a family? And he just kind of nodded, and I said, okay. And I don't know if you guys were paying attention to Seth's response or his reaction, excuse me. He knew where I was going with that. Because right before that, I said we have to get to the emotional thing. Once we pull on the emotional side, we'll get answers. And I immediately said, does he have a family? And he immediately said yes. He knew what I was doing. You guys probably saw it a bunch. It's like watching two cops in a room. Is the vibe that I was getting from it, right? He's ex-law enforcement, I'm ex-law enforcement. So like it was literally like two investigators sitting in a room going back and forth, right? Now, there's a reason why I brought up the family. To be completely clear, there's a reason why I brought up the family. The reason I brought up the family, because no one's asked yet, why is the family? Why did you bring up the family? Well, I'm going to tell you anyways. The reason I brought up the family is this. We might not get any answers from Joe Schmo, the boyfriend. Joe Schmo, whatever. We may not get the answers from him. But we might be able to get the answers from Mrs. Joe Schmo. Because I think we all know, guys, I'm married. If my wife tells me to do something, I might put up a little bit of a fight because, alpha. But like at the end of the day, I'm going to listen to whatever the hell she says. Like it's the world we live in, right? Like, let's be real. Like, it's the world we live in. He may not want to answer Seth. He may not want to answer me. But if his wife says something to him, You may want to talk. There's also a very good chance that maybe the wife doesn't know what happened. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the wife doesn't know what happened. Okay? I'm telling you, this something tells me the wife doesn't know or doesn't know everything. Remember, if the boyfriend is guilty, if he is, he's not going to tell his wife the truth. He's going to tell the wife his version of the truth. Remember, guys, what's that old saying? There's 3 versions of the truth. Yours side, my side, and the truth, or whatever it is. There's 3 versions of a story. Yours, mine, and the truth, something like that. Like, he's not going to tell the story the right way to his wife. He's going to tell the story in his way to make him look good. But what if we were able to tap into that? What if we were able to, that's it, Ayla. What if we were able to talk to her? What if we were able to give her some information like, hey, just want to let you know, Mrs. Joe Schmo, that Mr. Joe Schmo was one of the last ones to see Ashley Barnett alive. This is what we have. This is what we know. We're just looking for answers. You know what I would probably say? You guys want to know how I would end that email, that message, that phone call? I'd end it with this line. You wouldn't want to wait 20 years to find out answers regarding your children. God forbid you were ever put in this position. It's not fair that we have to. Your husband knows what happened that night. And if he was involved, we just want to know. We just need answers. That's it. If this was your kid or your children, you probably wouldn't want to wait 20 years. And that's where I would go. I would pull on the heartstrings. I would go right into the emotional piece. That's what I would do. Doing stuff like that is not threatening. It's not dangerous. It's not out of the ordinary. It's just a way to speak to them and say, look, we just need answers. That's all. And your husband knows the answers. Even if he didn't do anything, he knows what happened. We're just looking for answers. We've spent 20 Christmases without our sister. We spent 20 birthdays without our sister. We don't want to do a 21st. 5 minutes is all I'm asking of you. I don't care if he writes it and signs his name. I don't even need to hear his voice. I just need to know what happened. Just write it on a piece of paper. I don't care. But I need to know what happened. And Sadie, and if it comes to him getting in trouble, right, it can be worded in a way where it's like there will be no repercussions. Do you guys know what a proffer agreement is? Remember Brian Higgins, we thought, signed a proffer agreement. Do you guys know what a proffer agreement is? In the legal standpoint, in a court system? Essentially, a proffer agreement is you can come forward, say what you have to say to help the case, but anything you say cannot be used against you, or you can't be prosecuted for anything you say. So if you say like, yeah, this is what happened, and this, they can't go after you because something you said was like different or something like that. That's a proffer agreement. Now you can do it's kind of like an immunity deal. Yes, the only difference is if you say something something that's not true. So this is the difference. If you say something that's not true, then the proffer agreement goes away. But if you say something that's all true, but it just kind of goes, like maybe you said it happened at 3 a.m. when it was actually 3 p.m. and you made a mistake, just a human mistake, you can't get in trouble for that. That's what it means. So yes, they could offer them some form of immunity. They could say, look, we're not trying to bind you guys up. We don't want anyone getting in trouble. No way. Hey, Grind, is it possible she caught him with another woman? I mean, could he have? Yeah, but why would she go back to the room and then, whatever? I think something happened in that room. And I don't think he did it on purpose. I don't. Something happened in that room. We know because that random guy that was there wanted to talk and right the ship, no pun intended, and backed out. So I don't think it was malicious. Correct, Shorty Love. I don't think it was malicious. I think it was just a big accident. Now, doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it okay. Because it doesn't bring Ashley back. But at the same time, you got to talk and let us know. Like, that's what it comes down to. Becky, the jurisdiction at that point would be international because we're on international waters. Technically, in that general area, would probably be Mexico. But since she's a United States citizen and it happened over international waters, nobody would have the jurisdiction. They'd have to be able to prove a crime has been committed, and that was it. The random guy was the friend, the guy that was like in a situationship, Seth called it, with one of the girls. It was just like a mutual friend. That's why I called him a random guy. He was a mutual friend. Oakley, what's up? Question: do you think he knew something happened, and that's why he lifted her eyelid to see if awake? I think he knew at that point that she had OD'd. I think at that point he knew that something happened, and he lifted her eyelid to see, where she's at. I think that's why he did it. I think he just kind of said that to Seth, but I think, yes, he was seeing like what's going on. Allegedly, the fireman or the paramedic or whatever that was next door said that she still had some form of pulse. But if you guys don't know, typically even when you OD, you can have a pulse for quite a while. Like you can still have vitals for quite a while. Even though technically you're like clinically not there, mentally like there, your vitals can hang out for a bit. He was not questioned, heart and soul. Security spoke with him, which is very normal and common. Like, hey, what happened? What do you know? Which is something I asked Seth. I'm going to ask Seth privately. Do we have any documentation about the questions that security asked? And do we have any information on what his responses were to security? So, did anyone confiscate the rugs? No. Remember he said they were missing? He said, I have some that are missing. Again, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle here that don't add up. Yeah, Tina, yeah, you still have a pulse for a little bit. I don't know what like the exact like length of time is, but you do. Guys, before we finish up on this live, if you haven't followed yet, please consider following now. Greatly appreciate the support. We will be live tomorrow, just in case you guys don't know. And also, this live is recorded. So this live specifically will be recorded, the whole thing, and I'll upload it to YouTube because I know there's some people that weren't able to actually watch it. So it will be uploaded to YouTube. So guys, before I hop off, does anyone have any questions at all? Any final questions? I was thinking he mentioned something in the bottle, but not spirit. Yeah, he said that like some of his pills were missing or some of his medication was missing, something like that. But technically, guys, they can't. Okay, so they didn't know that she OD'd yet at the time, so they couldn't be like, oh, let's check all your belongings. They found that out like afterwards. So there's a very good chance if there was anything there, he probably dumped them. And that's why I asked Seth, and he didn't know the answer, which I didn't expect him to know the answer. Do we know if that bottle was empty? Something would tell me that if security was on that ship, something tells me he probably would have dumped that bottle out and rinsed it out so that nothing was there. He's not going to leave the remnants there. Appreciate you, Sadian. Oakley, I can't answer that question. I have to let Seth answer that question just because I don't know who's listening and who's on the live. So I can't answer that question. It has to do with like the legal thing. Did they check for bruises like on her neck or anything about? They did. There was no foul play. No foul play. I believe whatever he had in that bottle, I believe he dumped and got rid of it. That's what I believe. I believe he dumped it and got rid of it. So, but guys, I'm going to hop off. I am tired. My hair is definitely doing some stuff. Denise, go ahead. Go ahead. Ask your question, Denise. It was ruled that. Thanks, Amy. But I want to make sure Denise asks her question. She said I don't answer her questions, so I want to make sure I answer her questions real quick before we hop off. And yes, guys, check my story. You'll see when I'm live again. I will be live tomorrow, at least twice, but I'll put it on my story so you guys can see it. You're welcome, Gigi. Bye, Catherine. Bye, Ange. Night, Kristen. Darla, can I be your new favorite? Sure. Are we not? Is it Denise? Was she going to ask a question? No? I wanted to make sure I answered Denise's question. Now I feel bad because I wanted to answer her question. How do you think it was an accident since she didn't do rugs, accidentally thinking it was something? Again, girl, I don't know how to answer that question. What was the FF take on the boyfriend's actions during? I don't know what FF stands for. Oh, unless you meant firefighter. Unless you meant the firefighter. So either way, I need to know what FF stands for. You mean firefighter? Gander girl, I believe, yes. I believe that she took it thinking it was NyQuil because it was in a NyQuil bottle. And she took it, went to sleep, whatever, and he just left and just kind of let it happen. So I was going to say I am all grind out now. But guys, I appreciate the chat, guys. You guys are awesome. I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. All the new followers, guys, appreciate every single one of you. It really does mean a lot, especially when we're trying to bring as much awareness to this as we can. As you guys heard from Seth, people are reaching out, asking questions. More and more people are talking about it, right? So the fact that you guys continue to follow and tag me in things, we're getting more information out there, and we're bringing that awareness. So guys, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. We will be live tomorrow. Be ready. Be there. Ask your questions. It's going to be fun. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Good night.